What's up, y'all? I'm out here at 313 Cable Park, and today I'm going to teach you how to go rail to rail on your wakeboard. Luckily, 313 is probably the best cable park on the planet. They have everything you could ever need to learn anything new, every single obstacle that is perfect for progressing to that next level. They got the beginner cable, intermediate cable, and the pro level cable. So they actually have the perfect obstacle that's nice and easy to learn how to go rail to rail. That's this one right here. Gives you the option to go both ways off of your toes and your heels. So yeah, I figured I'd make this video today. The tricks that you're probably gonna wanna already know how to do before attempting to jump rail to rail on your wakeboard are pretty much just hitting obstacles in every way possible. Maybe a 50-50, a board slide, or a front board, maybe even back lip if you want, or a front lip as well. Just learning how to be comfortable on rails, boxes, round pipes or tubes or anything like that. Just being overall comfortable on obstacles is kind of all you're gonna need to know. Also, how to jump off of plastic. So the easiest way to actually go rail to rail is actually going from a rail further away from the cable to one closer to the cable. So outside in is actually the easier way of doing this. Every cable might not necessarily have this option. Sometimes you might have to go from the inside out, which will require a little bit more effort, but going outside in is definitely the easier way. Also, I do think the easiest position for going rail to rail is actually being in a 50-50 position on the first rail whenever you are actually jumping to the next one. And I also think it's easiest to either land in a backboard if you're jumping off your heels, or a front board if you're jumping off your toes. And I also think that jumping off of your toes is a lot easier than jumping off of your heels. The two different rail to rails I'm going to be going over today are just going to be from 50-50 to a front board off of your toes for the jump, and also a 50-50 backboard off of your heels for the jump. These are the two easiest in my opinion. If you are more comfortable doing it another way, feel free to land in a 50-50, or feel free to land in a front lip or a back lip, or whatever is most comfortable for you. I just personally think that the front board and the backboard are the easiest too. So let's start things off with the 50-50 on the first rail, jump over into a front board on the second rail. I will be jumping away from the cable in this situation. That's just how the obstacle is set up today, which is a little bit more difficult than being pulled back in towards the cable. So not too crazy, but yeah, we'll get it done. Since we are going rail to rail away from the cable, let's carry a little bit of momentum edging in towards the first rail. Carry that momentum so you're almost falling off towards the outside of the pipe as you get towards the end of it. So you're gonna hop onto that 50-50 position going up the pipe, and as you're getting close towards the end of it, you're going to want to almost roll over the pipe to the outside of it, so your toes are rolling over so that you're almost falling off the outside of the pipe. And once you've rolled over the outside of the pipe, that's when you're going to want to push at the end of the obstacle, jumping out and away from the rail towards the next one. Now that you've pushed out and up off of the end of the first rail, pushing yourself away from that rail towards the next one, you'll be in the air, and obviously the next step will be putting your board in that front board position. Luckily in this obstacle, it's not really that high of a hop or anything like that, but a front board is the easiest and safest option. So I choose to pick my front foot up, bring it up and over the next rail, and just land with your knees kind of bent in that standard front board position. Now that you're in that front board position on the rail with your knees bent, just ride that front board out all the way till the end of the pipe. Push off at the end of it, tee yourself back up straight, bend your knees on impact, and just ride away. now it's time to talk about doing the 50-50 and jumping over to the next rail into a backboard position. This time I'm gonna be getting pulled back in towards the cable, so the setup will be a little bit different. I won't necessarily be carrying a lot of speed away from the cable. I'll almost be setting up straight in line with the first pipe. So as I'm going up the pipe, I'll almost be getting pulled off early, which will pull me in towards the next rail. Okay, so now I am set up perfectly straight in line with the first pipe that I'll be going up to. So I'm going to ollie straight onto it and land in that 50-50 position. Since I wasn't carrying any momentum in either direction and the rope is attached to the cable diagonally towards the center of the lake, the rope will be pulling me slightly to the inside, which will result me almost sort of falling over towards the inside of the pipe. Hopefully I've lined it up kind of perfectly and I can try to roll over to the inside of the pipe towards the very end of the feature. And at this point, I'll be kind of rolled over on my heels on the edge of that pipe, and I'll be pushing out and up to help me move up and over to the next rail. Now that I've hopped off that first pipe and kind of that upward motion, once again, this rail to rail is not a very difficult one and it's not that high of a hop. So getting my front foot up and over the rail is pretty easy. So I'm just gonna take my front foot, pick it up over the rail and bring it over into a board slide and just land and board slide with my knees bent on the second pipe. Now that I'm in that board slide position with my knees bent on the second pipe, I'm just gonna wanna ride out all the way to the end of the pipe in that board slide position. I'm gonna wanna pop up and off the end of it, tee myself back up straight, bend my knees on impact, and ride away. Keep in mind, whenever you are doing a rail to rail, being pulled back in towards the cable like on the second hit I did, you're not necessarily going to have to roll over onto the edge of the first pipe as you would if you are traveling away from the cable. You can kind of almost stay on top of it and roll over slightly towards the end of it, just because the cable and your rope is going to do most of the work for you, pulling you back towards the center. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to push that hard away from the first pipe to get over to the next rail. So keep in mind, it is different going in both directions. I am regular footed on this obstacle in this video. So if you are goofy and the setup is exactly the same as here at your home park, then you're going to need to apply pretty much everything I said, but opposite. So jumping away from the cable, you'll be jumping away on your heels, and back in towards the cable, you'll be jumping off your toes. So yeah, pretty much everything the same, but opposite. And that's pretty much it. That's how you jump rail to rail. If you guys like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Comment below what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. Also, if you are trying to progress super fast, you should definitely check out 313 Wake Park. I know it might be pretty far from some of you guys, but this is definitely a destination to travel to. They got all the accommodation, all things like that. So if you want to come and stay for a while, it's definitely worth it. And yeah, I don't know, give me a thumbs up, comment below. I think I already said that. And remember, I'll be uploading a wakeboarding video every second day forever, so make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.